Okay, no. Guys, we fight now, we're getting fight. We're going dirty.
No, we're going dirty. No, now we're going dirty. Yeah, now we're...
Well, we are back again, fellow patriots of St. Martin, in our second round. This is the most interesting part of the program. We call it close and up and personal. It's not about really to be personal as hating somebody, but to understand who the person really is. So now my first question to Leopold. Leopold, many people in St. Martin keep asking me this question. And for me, it's not important, but because it's about people, they say, how can you be a man talking about fighting for St. Martin people and you're married a Dutch lady? How does it fit in the process of fighting for the people of St. Martin, knowing you as a man that is married to a lady of Dutch heritage?
That's a difficult one. No, tell me, I mean...
Well, people want to know.
We come here.
People wants to know.
This is the ring, huh?
This is the ring, but that's warm up.
This
People
is the
wants
ring.
to know.
And if you come and you challenge me,
The people wants to
and
know.
you don't put up your guards, I'm gonna knock you out.
The people wants to know.
So if that's all you got to give, if that's all you got to
More
give,
is coming,
you
but
know,
the people want to answer.
because that's like shadow boxing, and I ain't shadow boxing here. Here's the real deal.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Okay. So what's the question again? Because I didn't understand.
The question is,
I just don't
how
understand.
can you claim to be fighting for the people of St. Martin heritage while you marry a lady of Dutch heritage? How does it fit in your scenario
Okay.
of
So
what you mean
what
fighting?
What it got to do, right? My love for St. Martin, my recognition of my heritage, who I am, what I got to do with who I fall in love with and who I marry with. Explain me that one.
People say,
No. Explain me that one.
explain what the people want to hear.
Because I don't see the relevance. Necessarily, I don't see the relevance. I really don't see the relevance.
Because people believe that for you to be a genuine fighter...
People dumb. People say that dumb. Tell them when I say the dumb.
Okay.
Yeah? Just say the dumb is a stupid question.
Well, I will let Mr.
I don't have no problem answering questions, but stupid questions basically I don't like to answer.
Okay.
You understand? I don't have to apologize to nobody, you know. Listen, because I love my country so much, I could love anybody else. And that's part of the nation building principle as well. It's because we love ourselves so much, we can love others too. You understand? People who don't love themselves can't love a wife. They can't love others. If St. Martin people don't make sure that they love and are willing to protect their heritage at all costs, there's no way they could love somebody else. I am amazed, and I think St. Martin people got to explain me how they so-called love others, immigrants, foreigners, while they hate themselves. I just don't understand that.
How would you?
I don't understand it.
How would you describe people who will claim that in a country that they have been living in for 20, 30, 40 years, maybe have children, and because they don't have generations of roots in this country, that principally they are not St. Martins. How would you classify that?
Yeah, well, you know, people have to realize, and the discussion is good, and I feel very proud. I feel very proud I played a big role in getting that discussion going. Because you know for yourself, this is a discussion that the authorities should have initiated a long time ago. Who am I now to have taken the initiative to start this discussion? You know, but nevertheless, I am very proud. I feel privileged that I have played a tremendous role in allowing for these discussions to take place.
What do you call people who call you racist?
You know, if you go in a psychiatric ward as a doctor, right? The doctor, the patients will call you crazy. I'm a biologist. You know, I have worked, you know, with primates. And when you go into, you know, the lab, into a zoo, the monkey see you as a monkey. So far, you know, for people who call me whatever.
Right.
You see? So I ain't so smart to give a better answer than that.
In the case where you have a number of children that are born here, how would you differentiate them from foreign parents rather than being considering them as not having born here?
Okay, let me make that point very, very clear. My first, St. Martin has allowed itself to create a total mess so that people don't know what's up, what's down, nothing. Right? And in that situation, St. Martiners are the biggest losers right now.
Why would you say that?
Because, I mean, St. Martiners in their very existence are threatened. Okay, we see a slight change right now, but we have been threatened in our existence as a people. You know, because you know, others outnumber us, and when people outnumber you, people feel that they are the owners of the country. That's normal.
Democratically,
yes, of course, Listen, in the past, let's say 100 years ago, 75 years ago, this discussion was not necessary on St. Martin because most people knew each other.
You have also promoted this whole concept of what you call it affirmative actions or positive discrimination.
Sure, absolutely.
You're saying that it is time that on both sides of the island there's a great need to initiate.
There's no other way out. There's no other way out. So let me explain myself again because this is for me very important. You know, St. Martin has maneuvered itself in an impossible situation for St. Martiners, but also for many non-St. Martiners. Because many non-St. Martiners, you know, there are many non-St. Martiners that love this country dearly. But if the country is not based in a structural way, not developed in a structural way, it's going to cause confusion for them as well. And many of those people are realizing that. So right now, basically, it's like when a computer crashes. When a computer crashes, you have to go back. You have to unwind, rewind. Right? St. Martin is a crashed computer. People forget. It's like the Bible. Is they tear out the pages of the Bible and they put them back in all kind of a sequence. The Bible starts with Genesis, in the beginning.
Right.
St. Martin has lost that sequence. It's a complete mix-up. My first concern, and I say that without any apologies, and extremely emphatically, St. Martiners, my main concern right now is for St. Martiners and nobody else. Mind me well, huh? My first concern, and it's not my only concern.
Right.
Because, of course, my other concerns are also others. But we cannot start by being concerned and looking at the interests of others who come long after us without taking care of our problem. So that is the problem that we have on this island.
In principle, you mean, but in your equation, the St. Martiners come first. It's Genesis.
But what else? Who else comes first? So in other words, may I say this way then?
Sure.
You are saying that you cannot have a St. Martin if you don't have the real and only St. Martin cultural value of heritage.
You cannot build, listen, if you want to build, let's say you want to build a house that you call the Red House,
okay,
right? And you have the choice of bricks of different colors, red, blue, green, yellow, whatever, right? And you want to build this red house. What color bricks you going to use?
You have to use red.
Okay. You see? If you want to build a country called St. Martin, right? But there's nothing St. Martin about this country, then what are we talking about?
What would you say about people who claim that St. Martiners as a people are not truly qualified in any which way to manage the country? Consequently, it is up for grabs for anybody to manage it for them?
Well, I would say if you're so concerned about St. Martin and you feel you have whatever expertise, why are you here in the first place?
The person would say because they love the country and so they want to make country.
Please save me your love. Yes? Save me your love. Because why do people happen to love St. Martin? Right? why don't people love Iceland, right? Or Haiti? Haiti needs a lot of work.
Dominican Republic.
You see how much reconstruction Haiti needs? Why people don't go there? Because they got gourds and not dollars? You see? So I'm saying to these people that love St. Martin so much, spare me your love.
Mr. James, you have a problem with Haitians?
I have a problem with anybody, with any group of people that I see as a threat to my country and I see as a threat to the nation building process. And whoever those people are, right, I will deal with them and I will define and I will expose
But
them.
you must admit this. We have to be also honest with ourselves. The native people of St. Martin heritage also allow this process to take place.
Absolutely, I do
So
that.
why do you blame the foreigners if the people themselves
No.
allow it?
No. I don't necessarily blame foreigners for the situation on the island because if we allow it, then we are the first to blame. On the other hand, I make it very clear to all foreigners as well, because most foreigners here have more experience, in how a country should be run and what a country should do for its own people. Most people know that because they went through those experiences where they come from, So all foreigners' ideas saying know what they're doing on St. Martin is not right. They know it. So I'm saying, okay, you are making use of our ignorance, of the ignorance of the majority of St. Martin people. Yes, I agree,
When you say ignorance, could you break it down for me what you mean?
Ignorance, many St. Martin people are ignorant in the fact that, they have a country, the country belongs to them, period. And they should have first rights. This should not have to be second-hand, second-rate and third-rate or fourth-rate citizens in their country.
So in other words, you're saying that people in St. Martin know very little about a nation building.
They know nothing about the nation, but
Okay.
they don't, because that has been part of our political mentality, because our political mentality, which Mr. Claude Watty played a big role in, has been to take away the pride and the dignity of the St. Martiner. Because one of the things that Mr. Claude Watty did, was to take away and break the bond that St. Martiners had with their land. You see? And put them to work in casinos and in the hospitality field, where they are serving others. When you detach somebody from his land, that's why we are very proud of what we have here, because when somebody is connected to their land, right, they can feed themselves. They can connect, with the spirit of their ancestors. So that's part of their very strength. You see, so when you break that bond, you destroy people, and that has happened, on St. Martin to a large extent.
For those who don't know, you have in the recent months started this what you call a St. Martin card.
The St. Martin Cultural Identity Card, yes.
How do you envision that card being any part of the solution in terms of what you're trying to accomplish to Martin's first?
Well, I'll tell you something. I consider myself to be very, very fortunate, because there have been many people before me that have played a role and that have tried to stand up and fight for St. Martin people, and they did not see, the fruits of their work, to a certain extent. I am seeing it tremendously, though I never set out, to see it during my lifetime. I'm a scientist. I know how this thing works. If you have conditioned somebody's mind for 40 odd years, it takes at least another 40 years in theory to change that situation, to change that mindset. So when I started out, and that's what I'm doing is not easy necessarily, because you are going to get blows, you're going to get criticized, you're going to get ridiculed.
Mr. James,
everything.
I have to interject
but
here.
you have to know eventually what you are doing is you are planting a seed, and that's what I'm doing.
I have to interject
I might
here.
not live to see it, but that doesn't matter.
I have to interject
Sure.
here. And you have to be honest with yourself also.
Okay.
Let's say if I'm a Haitian, for instance, and I'm the majority and in the country, even though originally I am not from here. Do you really expect me to help the St. Martin, native people of St. Martin first, before I help my people as a majority? You can't expect that from me.
No, I listen. Again, I don't have to expect anything from anybody. You know, the only person I should expect anything from is myself to start with. You know, but one thing again, you know, and there's something, you know, I always, from a teacher, being a teacher, you know, has always been one of my points. You know, I always try to, you know, educate my students, not by, you know, telling them what they have to do, what they shouldn't do. No, by trying to present to them the options, the different scenarios, and the consequences, right? And to let them realize whatever choice you make, the corresponding consequences are yours. So if Haitians, to mention a group, you know, which is a group that plays a tremendous role in this country in terms of being a problem, yes, if they want to continue doing as if they don't know what the consequences are of their development for the people of this country, God bless them. You know, God bless them. But at a given moment, they are going to have to deal with whatever the consequences are. Maybe the consequence is a fantastic life and everything goes fine. Maybe, I don't know. But maybe not either.
But again, back to the original question with regards to how do you envision that card being a solution?
Yeah, as I was saying, you see, we are sitting here now, and that's so interesting. We're sitting here, we have about maybe an hour program, and this country has been going in the wrong direction for St. Martin's for maybe 50 odd years, if not more.
Why do you say so?
So to expect from me, by the snap of the fingers, to see a change or whatever, I mean, that is not really realistic. But I understand the question, and I find I have to answer the question as well, because that's how people think. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to necessarily let people intimidate me by all kinds of crazy expectations they have, you know, full well known, you know, that they are to blame as well.
Right.
The card is the result, and I am so proud of that card to tell you the truth, Eldridge. Because when you look at it good, and you know it too, Eldridge, because yourself and myself, we go way back.
Yeah.
We go way back in terms of bringing about some serious changes in this country. You know, we have played our role in this country that has brought about a fundamental change on St. Martin, period. There are no two ways about it, you see. And my contribution has been mainly along the lines of you know, writing and educating people. I've written, I suppose, thousands of articles by now. In
I'm quite sure about that.
Quite a bit, you know. And I've organized, you know, set up many organizations. I mean, you name it. And what is so nice about this card, basically, and I'm sure you can understand it, people might understand it right now, but that card for me is the culmination of all the work I've done. All the work I have done in the past, I know for myself, you know, that card is the culmination. That card is the result of everything I did and the reason I did it. Why? One of the problems that, you know, and one of the reasons I got involved with what I'm doing on St. Martin is my concern that St. Martiners were going to become, you know, distinct in their country. So we have tried everything, you know that. Everything we have tried, right? And one of the things I realized was very important is for us to be able to identify ourselves. You see? We went through all kind of phases where, you know, discussions and arguments, and people could just reach yesterday or reaching tomorrow and didn't know who's a St. Martin already. And you know that, Eldridge, you have many discussions and those things. And it's so important because what is so important is when you look at St. Martin, most people that come to St. Martin, especially from the surrounding islands, they come to St. Martin for papers because that gives them, you know, opportunity to get to the system. And the papers they come for are Dutch papers and French papers and nothing else.
Right.
They ain't come for no St. Martin papers because St. Martin don't exist.
So why do St. Martin people should even want a St. Martin card?
Let me try to explain my point. So, many people when they came here, they want a Dutch nationality, a French nationality, because that could help them, you know, get social welfare, the whole whatever. You understand? And it's only once they're on the island for a period of time, they start to realize, for whatever reason, that the most coveted status is not the nationality, it's the St. Martin identity. So there was a fight, basically, a fight Because many people realize that in the future, the key is going to be the Samoan identity, not Dutch or French. The Samoan identity. So once they're here now, despite the fact that they get a Dutch passport, sometimes even both, they want to fight us now for the only thing that we have. That's what I was trying to explain before. Samoan went through all kind of different nationalities, all kind of different colonial nationalities. The only thing that was constant was we as a people, our identity. The day we lose that, it's over. And that was the reason that we, as a movement, eventually have been fighting to make sure that we preserve, we identify the Samoan identity first, we identify it, and we preserve it. Now, how you identify it, you can say, okay, I'm a Samoan, I'm born here, and God knows what, the born here thing basically is nonsense because the most people born here are of non-Samoan heritage anyhow, you see? So we can't use it to identify ourselves, you understand? So at a given moment, we realized, that we had to take to the next level to stop arguing with people who have a majority over us to claim that we are the Samoanists.
You wanted to take charge of the dominant minority.
We want to make sure, right, that we identify ourselves. It's very, very, very important. So this is how the idea came up eventually, to come up with a card. It was an old idea. We knew to vote. We knew we'd get a lot of flack, which, to me, we didn't get any flack at all, to tell you the truth. You understand? But we realized St. Martin people have to move away from being this friendly character, because people take you for granted. People, of course, they tap you in the shoulder and they come and they join us with carnival. But that's it. That's all. We have to define ourselves, so we can take to the next level. So we at the summer decided, you know what? It is time now to define ourselves in a very, very symbolic way by coming out with a card. So we came out with the ID card, and that ID card is to serve a number of purposes. In the first place, it is to give the Samoan, even starts with me, the feeling that I have something to show for it.
Are you saying that this card supersedes your nationality to the point, irrespective to your country?
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%, of course. Because as I said again, the Dutch and the French passport, is a colonial document. It doesn't belong to us.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong to us. So if you want to identify, yourself as a nation by your nationality, which isn't yours.
You're saying that this ID card, this St. Martin card, identification card, is the nucleus of a unified St. Martin?
Absolutely. I would definitely say so, 100%. Because it identifies the St. Martin, based on his heritage. You see, so not based on where he was born. As a matter of fact, the nice thing about the St. Martin ID card, because it identifies the St. Martin based on heritage, here is where, again, you get a new paradigm shift, because one of the problems that St. Martin's had on the island and why we were, almost intimidated by many foreigners was that they called us a minority. You understand? But how we define the St. Martin, we don't define the St. Martin by those who were born here, no, those who have roots here. So when you look at the St. Martins from that point of view, we have St. Martins maybe in Russia, in China, Santo Domingo, Haiti, France, around the world. People who have roots to St. Martin. So that changes the dynamic completely, because...
And how much time you would like to see that? Would you like to see a St. Martin, a unified St. Martin within the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years?
I really, look, for me, I don't look at things in terms of a physical time frame. For me, it's this, because that determines it. Because once people make up their mind that that's it, listen, it will go on within 3, 4, 5 months, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you look at a time frame and then you got to adjust your mind. No, you got to make up yourself in your mind. You know what? This is it. This is it.
A question I have for you is this,
Sure.
a very important question, because this comes to the heart of it. Every St. Martin Day, we gather by the border, and they say they're coming together, but if in reality, it's the coming together of Dutch and French.
Yes.
But the country itself, where the monument and the treaty is made around, which is St. Martin, and the people which are talking about the native people of St. Martin, they doesn't really fall into St. Martin Day. What I notice is Dutch and French coming together, but I don't really see no St. Martin and a whole as coming together. What Would you like to see change
But
in that
thank you.
ceremony?
Thank you for insulting us. Thank you for insulting us.
That's the reality.
Thank you for saying that's your reality. That's not our reality. Yeah, we create our own reality, right? The reality you're talking about is somebody else's reality which exists. I know that. You understand? I have to go back to the Samaritan Day. You know, as we know it. You know, as far as I understand it, the concept of the Samaritan Day was created, I think, in the early '60s by Dr. Clarwati, Mr. Petit, and Mr. Labega. And from what I understand was that the Samaritan Day, how they put it aside was not a day of national government. It was to celebrate, and commemorate the unity of the Samaritan people. You see, and over the years, apparently, that has been watered down to a kind of a governmental celebration. But thank God for the grassroots Samaritan movement. Right? That I think we have done it for the 3rd year. We have celebrated, the Samaritan Day in our own way, and we have made it a grassroots event, because, this Dutch-French thing, it destroys us as a people, Of course, I know it's a reality, and we do not expect when we talk about working towards a unified Samaritan eventually, which we hope to achieve. We want to do it in a smart way. It's not that we want to say we have to break up the ties that we have with Holland and break up the ties we have with France. No. We are saying we should reach to a point where Samaritan becomes a unified country, but not only maintain those ties with France and Holland, and the region, but take it to even another higher level, win-win level, So people who are afraid that we would like to disrupt the ties that are there with France and Holland, for instance, we are realistic when it comes to that. Why? Listen, in this world, there are a lot of people that you might not like, but the world is getting smaller. You're going to have to find ways and means to work along with them. But if you don't know who you are, then it's going to be to your detriment. When you know who you are as a people, you're going to realize that those ties can really benefit you then, because then you make sure that those relationships, are added value to you as a people. Right now, we are tagging along to going along for their interests, basically.
Are you in support of immigration having to